also involved with a label, Ninja Jamm, which is a UK independent, 100% independent electronic label. And last year we celebrated 20 years in the music business, which is a long time in the entertainment business, but we're still here and rocking. So I'm just going to give a brief talk today, and the title is Apps, Algorithms and Albums. Is the app the 21st century music format? So it's a talk on the state of play with music apps, and we're also going to introduce our own offering from Coldcut and Ninja Jamm, which is called Ninja Jamm, which is an iPhone and iPad app. So I think many of us would agree that the traditional music business has had rather a kicking from the digital revolution and has not really been responding as imaginatively as it needs to. The strategy seems to have been one of moaning a lot that it isn't fair, and also sort of trying to recycle some old ideas, and they're not really enough to meet the challenge, to meet the new market, the new type of attention, to take advantage of the new possibilities. So our task is to vision up some new music formats that embrace today's audience, and today's audience is networked, it's switched on, it's gamified, which means it's grown up with kind of instant touch button responses to everything, and it likes games. And also touch controlled devices have got a lot more popular recently, so they offer an excellent way to get people to interact with technology and with music, as we shall see. So my thesis is that apps meet these requirements. We can come up with new ideas for music apps, which are new ways of presenting music to people. So usefully, apps are better set up, particularly through Apple's system. Love them or hate them, Apple have set up a pretty amazing system whereby one can make an app. Actually, one can make a simple app in a couple of hours, get Apple to approve it, which can take a few days or whatever, but it's a pretty automatic process, and get it on the App Store and start selling something. Now, that is a really revolutionary state of affairs compared to a few years ago, where if I wanted to make a software program and sell it, I had to make loads of boxes, loads of CDs, distribute them, get them into shops. And we tried it, and actually it was too much. We couldn't make a success of it because the problems of physical distribution blocked a small operator like Ninja Jamm from entering into the market. So that's changed now. So with the App Store, Apple system, we're in fact better set up to get artists and labels paid through apps. So if we can package music into apps, then this gets over a lot of the problems of, for instance, people illegally copying stuff and giving it to their mates. So I thought it would be fun to have a quick look through at some of the current music apps. It's just a sort of personal choice of 3 or so, which I think tell us something about the state of play, and then we'll have a look at Ninja Jamm. So, are we seeing my, yes, we're desktop here. All right, let's pick up the old iPad. Okay, so first we'll look at Native Instruments iMachine. So, that's 2 times it. This is what I would call a kind of portable cut-down version of Studio Tools, which lots of people like us use for making electronic music. And it comes from Native Instruments, who are a leading German manufacturer of music software, and they're a quality company, they make good products, and the sounds and content that are with it are pretty good. So, should we be getting some sound out, Mr. Soundman? And it sounds pretty good, but that's some of the content that comes with it. But actually, it's only a 4-bar loop, so it's really not the full song, but it does sound pretty good. And I can have a go at sort of adding stuff on top of that. I can record in different patterns. Probably better actually if I delete the patterns that are already there. But basically you can see you hit record, you jam around on top, you've got drum sounds, you've got stabs, and if I could play keyboards, then you would have keyboards. But the thing about this is that you really kind of need to know what you're doing on it. It's for people really who have got some fluency in modern electronic music creation and want to have a go at that on the road, on the subway or wherever. So it's really just a cut down studio tool. It does come with, let's have a look. It's got in-app purchase here, so you can buy different things from their store, and comes with a library of pretty good content. But as I say, these are not songs, they're just kind of short snippets with different tracks, different components that you can play around with. So iMachine is really an excellent portable studio, but perhaps not for the wider audience who are not necessarily music makers, who don't have studio chops and might be put off by the complexity. So let's have a look at Korg meets the Gorillaz. Now Korg have always been a bit of a favourite of mine as far as electronic music manufacturers goes. Roland are kind of the big daddies, but Korg, my first synth was a Korg MS-10, and they do some quite quirky stuff, and it was interesting to see that they came onto the app scene earlier than the other Japanese music manufacturers and did some pretty good offerings. They've done an MS-20 synth, which is a classic synth. It comes with extra beatboxes, sequencers, an amazing app. But you know, I struggled to actually learn how to use it because it's pretty complicated. This is a sort of software model of another piece of equipment that they do, which is called the Electribe, and that's a kind of sequencer, drum machine, and keyboard all built into one, and you know, pretty easy to use. And what they did was get together with Gorillaz and get a bunch of Gorillaz material, kind of chop it up and put it in the format for this Electribe machine to be able to play with those songs. So really good quality and quite a lot that you can do with the effects and so on. And you can, here you've got kick, your snare, your different drums, your different things at the bottom. And then step sequencer at the bottom that you can drop in and out of. You can record everything that you're doing, and then when you're finished you can upload it to SoundCloud, which is a pretty useful thing that's becoming a bit of a standard actually. SoundCloud emerging as the best way to share the music that you've made. But again, pretty complicated actually. You've got these 4-bar 16-step sequencer, not that intuitive. The effects and so on, yes, you've got these nice knobs and these valves which glow up, you know, glow hot when you're doing some distortion, but again, quite a complicated bit of gear, and really rooted in old school, I would say, paradigms of what studio equipment used to be like. We've got to ask the question, are we really just content with replicating old technology in this new format, or are we going to really take advantage of the scope of the new touch possibilities, touch control, and vision some things which are actually an enhancement rather than this is kind of cute with its retro feel, and you know, you've got your nice chewed pencil there at the bottom. The graphics are good, but as I say, to me it's looking backwards rather than forwards. But it has got good content, and I'm a bit surprised it hasn't been more successful actually. It is iPad only, and I guess the number of iPads compared to the number of people with iPhones is probably about, off the top of my head, 1/10 or something like that, maybe even less. So that's kind of restricted their market in terms of reaching the mass audience. Let us meet Bjork. Biophilia by Bjork. Now, song mode, let's try. Okay, so there was a good lot of hype when this came out. Bjork, as I'm sure we all know, is one of the most interesting and sort of independent spirits in modern music. She always seems to just do what she wants and still make it successful, and I really admire her. And it was nice to see her get into the idea, push forward with the idea that interactive music could be something interesting and new. So it's probably one of the most polished apps out there from an artist. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Let me see if I just want to boot it again, because the loading screen is very nice. Instructions, return to dark matter page. Hello. Okay. And just turn it down a little bit. What she's done is provide a series of very beautiful sort of minimalist graphic environments that you can interact with, and as you interact with them, the visuals change and it alters the music as well. So for instance, this is one song, and by touching these little nodes here, you can experiment with scales, and it gives you some information at the bottom: Balinese, Egyptian, pentatonic minor. A little bit complicated for my simple head, but I'm just happy to press some nodes, hear the effects, and explore the Bjork universe. So, okay, so we've got different levels here, which all look pretty similar. But then you get different tracks. If I could work out how to get back to the... I'm not sure about that. Okay, here we go. So there you've got different tracks: Thunderbolt, Solstice, Crystalline, and I think it came with one free track, and then if you want more, you can use in-app purchase to unlock them. It is very beautiful. I like the interface. However, the interactivity with the music isn't all that deep. There's not all that much you can do. And can you rock a party with it? Probably not. It's more of a sort of arty ambient offering. But I think it's certainly one of the most ambitious and interesting interactive albums so far. Okay, let's have a look at Ninja Jamm. Now, yeah. So in 1997, Coldcut released an album called Let Us Play, and it came with a free CD-ROM. And on the CD-ROM was various interactive toys, mainly made with Director, that let you mess around with some of our sounds, that let you play with visuals as well. It had an interactive Coldcut A to Z with all our jargon in, and a game. And the idea was that we wanted to show that a music album could be much more, that you could bring other things to connect with it that would make the experience for your audience richer and more enjoyable. And so we're starting to push into the idea that it shouldn't just be someone listening to your music, it could be a two-way communication. And it was for Mac and PC, but these devices didn't exist at the time, and so the kind of interactivity was limited, and we thought that in fact now is the time to recycle some of these ideas and bring them up to date with these new devices. So that's what we've done with Ninja Jamm. So we made the claim, we deliver next generation beatnological manipulation, and we put that on the album cover. And I suppose what I meant was that we're going to keep on trying to experiment and come up with new ideas to give people fun ways of playing with music and visuals as well, to give people really open access electronic art tools so that anyone can have the enjoyment of playing with electronic sound and with visuals, which that's where I'm at. I totally enjoy it. I'm not a musician, I'm not really an artist or a painter, I'm just someone who messes around and enjoys exploring that process of playing, really. So Ninja Jamm is a kind of update of those ideas. Now, I want to say that because we're hoping to get a big wave of publicity in the week of release, which I hope is going to be the 12th of June, and that week might be a week later. So I'd respectfully ask that people don't put a huge, big press articles about this. You're welcome to blog about it, and just say something along the lines of, we've seen Jamm, it looks really wicked, and it's going to be coming soon, and there'll be more info soon. That'd be great. By all means, grab me afterwards if you're interested in any aspect of it. We totally want to get a buzz going and totally want your support, and hope that you'll be excited about it. We're just trying to control the sort of pace of the buzz on it a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to show you some of the features. This, is, by the way, is pretty much the world premiere of Ninja Jamm, so thanks for being here and paying attention. I'm not going to show you the screens, and I'm not going to go into detail about them, but afterwards I'll have a go and do a bit of a jam so that you can sonically pick up on what the app can do. But I think I can show you a fair bit without giving everything away. This is the Select a Tune page, and here we're going to have tunes available from Ninja Tune, our label, and you'll be able to buy them. There'll be a little buy button, and I think it's probably going to start off at 69p, which is even cheaper than a tune on iTunes. 139 is the next step up, and we're not sure if that might be a bit too expensive. I mean, considering a 12-inch single used to cost £5, it's pretty reasonable, really, but I think people have got into not paying too much for app content, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe music should be free anyway, but we just want to get enough return from what we're doing so that we can continue enjoying this shit and bringing you good stuff. So the app will come free, it will be free, it will contain one pack built in, and then in this shop there'll be one other free pack, and then these other ones will be things that you can buy to add to your collection, hopefully your growing collection of interactive active music. So I'm going to select a track, a tune, it's Toddler T. Here's some blurb about it, here's the album artwork. I'm pleased to see that this is looking quite crisp on the iPad, actually. iPhone apps that are blown up usually look a bit shit, but maybe they've sorted that out at Apple, because this is looking quite nice and crisp. Bit of blurb about Toddler, gives you the BPM and play tune. And this will take a few seconds, which we are optimizing. In the final version, it's only going to be about 3 seconds. But at the moment, it's taking a bit long, although not ridiculous. So now we're off into Toddler T. Now, if I didn't touch anything, it will play back the track. The track's split into four channels: drums, bass, melody, and vox, and I can turn these on and off. I can manipulate each clip that's playing. Let's just do it without. I can manipulate each clip individually, and I can choose different clips as well. I'll hardly hear what I'm doing here. So you can cut instantly between the clips. You don't have to have a brilliant sense of timing because it keeps it in time, but yet the human feel is quite important. So you're directly interacting with the music. It's not a sequencer, it's a live instrument. So that's enough on that page for the moment, although we can, no, I'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, when you load it up, there's going to be a tutorial which will run you through the program and sort of force you to only use a bit of it at a time. It will teach you each page at a time so that you don't get confused and it leads you through. It's only going to take about 3 minutes, but that was the easiest way we thought we could introduce people to it so you don't get frustrated and then get straight into jamming. So I won't run a tutorial this time. We'll wait hopefully a few seconds before it comes back to the next page. A few seconds. Here we go. And take a look at a couple of the other pages. The stabs page, just not going to show you too much on this because it's quite secret. And now the Coldcut page. This is a favourite Ninja Tune technology which takes clips and chops them up automatically. Can you hear okay? Is it coming out of the speakers all right? Yeah. I'm going to put it just on the drums so you can hear clearly what it's doing. So the drums track, turn the Coldcutter on, and now select one of these recut presets. And it's just sort of subtly chopping up and rearranging the clip. And these different presets do this in more or less radical ways, including reversing slices, omitting them, repeating them. and it's just a way of getting more variation out of the clips. Quite often you're listening to something the machine's doing, it's fairly random. You think, wow, that's really an amazing beat. Well, you better have record pressed if you do that, because otherwise that perfect beat would be lost forever. But as I say, it's not a sequencer, it's an instrument. It's in the moment. So that's recuts, but on the right we've got super fills, which also use a cold cutter, but do special kind of glitchy effects. So I'll take that off and get a quick jam on the drums with a recutter, with the super fills. Can get quite abstract, but modern electronic music, for any of you Flying Lotus fans out there, can be quite abstract, so we feel it's a fair call. You can drop in and out and it'll always be on time, but it's something that you have to learn, so it's a bit like the game. Then again, the randomness means you can be surprised, so it's different every time. So that's the cold cutter. DJ effects here. I said I wouldn't show these, so very quickly move on. They are really good effects. XY multi-effects, and any time that we want we can hit record, and for fun actually let's go into dub time, slow it all down a bit. I've been showing this to a few people today, and you have to wrestle the machine back off them, which must be a good sign. So I've recorded my jam, and there's a little notice here that says you're welcome to share this with others via sharing, but please don't enable download, because we don't want the net swarming with copies of this remix that people might use instead of actually buying the original track. So SoundCloud have done the right thing and very intelligently provided a nice, easy-to-use API, which we've just plugged in to our program and has given us the facilities to publish to SoundCloud. I can even add an image, which will be the album artwork. Let's choose that, that looks nice. That will do, and I can give it a title. And I can make it public. Now if I say it's private, only I can see it. If I say it's public, it seems to be struggling a little bit. Caveats apply, this is a beta version. But that enables you to post it on Facebook, Twitter, etc., etc. And basically if I hit upload and share, then that shunts it up to SoundCloud. And we're going to establish a kind of SoundCloud have seen the app, they like it, they're being really helpful, and they've advised us how to build a sort of community jamming centre where all the uploaded jams from anyone using the app will go, and then we can have competitions and form a bit of a community around that. So that is your first sneak preview at Ninja Jamm. Did I say I was going to have a quick jam with it, didn't I? I think I've covered that with the Dubtastic work out there, so that's given you a taste. Yep, like I said, we want to arrange a wave of publicity, so please see me if you want to blog or do any press about it. We're very happy to talk to you, and obviously we would like your support because this is a great event and you guys here are obviously paying attention to what's going on. Thank you, jam on.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Does anybody have any questions for Matt? This is your unique opportunity to So Matt with some questions.
A couple of questions, if I may. First, have you encountered any resistance from any of your artists to put their sort of artistic creations on the app to be remixed and to be, you know, manipulated?
Interesting question. Well, we've got quite a few artists. All the ones we've asked so far have been very happy about it. Remember that we're not just giving their music away. This is actually a new way to sell their music, and they're supporting that. Now, we make a simplified version of their track to enable it to fit in the app, and also we provide remix clips which can take the tune in any direction. So it's possible that artists might say, oh, I don't like what you've done with my track, but that's no different really to getting someone to do a remix of your track. So as an artist, really, the best attitude is to just say, hey, I've made this, if people can enjoy it in different ways, I'm good with that. So far, not a problem.
And another one is whether or not you've explored any multi-user with it, whether, you know, 2 or more people with different devices can interact together and jam together.
Yeah, that's a really great idea, and I thought of it a while ago. I've got some quite exciting extra features on the list in connection with that, but totally to network this up is quite high on the list, and we will do that as soon as possible, yes. The idea of having a network of people using the app distributed who can maybe swap samples with each other. I was even yesterday looking up to see what audio interfaces there are that work with the iPad and iPhone, so that, you know, you can actually plug in a guitar and record your voice and then send that off to your mate who's in a different country. That can work as well, yeah.
Anyone else? No? Well, thanks a lot, Matt.